I want to answer the question, which is, why didn't you just bring your car in? Which was a comment we got on YouTube, then the same person put it on Facebook, then they emailed us. Why didn't you just bring the car in, keep it classic, and just pay what you had to pay? Hello everybody, and this week on Mighty Car Mods, it's time to kind of talk about something very important, and that is the engine. Where is it? Where is it?
Where is it? Why is it not in the car?
Why isn't it here?
Why is the car here and engineless? Because an engineless car sucks.
Doesn't really go anywhere. But before we go any further down that route, and we will answer that question, Martin, Castrol obviously is a sponsor of our show, Castrol Edge, and we're like, can you send us some oil? Look how much there is.
Yeah. But I'm not complaining because this is going to last for ages. This is going to do so many services on the Mira and so many services on the 240. It's going to be awesome. And some of this is actually Turbo Yoda and Woody's and Benny's and stuff as well.
Send it up to Skid Factory as well. Martin, actually, because I just see this behind you as well, while we're actually on it, this here, our Ryobi leaf blower has seen substantial abuse over the years. And it's finally died. It's finally gone Rhonda and kaput. Can we have another one, please? Ryobi, if someone's listening, can you send us one, please?
Be nice to have a leaf blower that works.
I think they're worth about $100 approximately. We only need the skin. And we will give, in return, $500 to Reach Out, which is the charity that we are ambassadors for. It's mental health support for young people, Australian charity.
Legend.
Ryobi, can you please send us one of these things worth $99? In return, we'll give $500 to Reach Out. That's a damn good deal.
That's a really good deal.
You're heading towards your JDM surprise, aren't you?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Are we going to open it?
Yeah. No.
What do you mean?
Maybe. What is it, Martin? What are you so
It's
excited
from-
about?
it's
jumping
from-
up and down today.
Secret Factory Japan.
That's awesome, man.
Secret Factory Japan. Should we open it?
We will open it soon, but we have to go somewhere first.
Later. Oh, let's go.
Because Benny and Turbo Yoda are not here today, we weren't actually meant to be filming, but we have a bunch of other stuff to do, and we're just going to take you guys with us.
Turbo Yoda went camping.
He did go camping, and
And
I was away
motorbike
a little
riding.
bit before that.
Yeah.
So you go motorbike riding with his broken finger?
Nah, he wants to.
Today you're coming with us. We've got some important announcements to make today, some exciting things that we're not meant to tell you yet, but we're telling you today. And we're going to talk about where our engine is, then we're going to come back, we're going to open that JDM surprise. We've got to visit some wreckers.
Let's do it. This is what normally happens when we normally stop it and go, we need to go get parts. You're just coming this time.
You're coming with us. You're
In case
coming
you
with
ever
us.
wondered, if you're asleep, then that's fine too.
And focus, we turned up the boost. Again. There's more.
There is more.
So,
Head gasket.
RIP head gasket.
Head gasket.
Let's go. Anyway, we got to hit it. Yeah,
What about
let's
my
go.
JDM secret
We're going to
surprise?
open your JDM secret
about
stash. We're going to open
We're
it when
taking
we get
this?
back. No,
Okay. Oh, when we
do you
get
want to
back.
take it?
No, we'll do it when we
No,
get back.
we'll do it when we get back.
Whose is this? Is this yours?
First, we've got to go to the city. Never seen it before.
Is this
Subaru
yours?
on it. Subaru XV. No, it's definitely not mine. We got to go to the city. Then we got to go to the wreckers. Then we got to come back.
Can I bring my turbo with me?
Oh, look at it, man.
How good is it?
Just look at that setup. Look at that.
Wastegate. Hello, turbo.
We're in the Focus RS again, and we've turned up the boost.
More.
It's got more. How much more? No idea. We don't know. You probably saw from our little Cobb Access port that Mount Tune had delivered us a tune based on our mods and our bits. We've loaded that onto the car. Like, what'll it do? Makes it faster, makes more power, more boost.
Yeah.
We haven't put it on the dyno, we don't know. But we're moving, and our head gasket appears to be functioning.
Do you reckon if it was 1988 and you had
I'd be saving up for a CA 180SX, 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
So say you weren't, and say you already had that and you wanted a hatchback to get to the shop, and you went and bought, so say it's early 90s, whatever, a Mazda Familia Turbo.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
They're big in New Zealand,
Or
mate.
a Ford TX3, which was the turbo, like the
Yes,
Ford
yeah,
version,
yeah.
right? Mazda and Ford sharing. If you got that TX3 and you got a boost controller and you turn the boost up and you got one of those timing interceptors and turn the timing up, do you think it's possible you could blow a head gasket or crack your block?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, good. I just want to make it
Oh,
clear
okay.
that these problems are not specific to one car. It's the same.
Oh,
It's been the
okay.
same forever.
Oh, this is like when they went, ban the car, it's got drift mode, yet everyone with a VL Commodore is like, what?
Yeah, well,
It's like...
my car has nothing but drift mode.
my drift mode is my right foot.
Yeah.
Anyway, Martin,
yeah, it's-
speaking of right feet and cars going fast, VL Turbo's got to happen one day. But let's
yeah,
actually get to the
totally.
crux of what we're talking about today.
Yep.
First of all, we're on our way to the city.
Yep.
When we get there, we're going to tell you guys something that's very strange.
Welcome to
and
Sydney.
exciting.
Welcome to Sydney traffic. By
Yes,
the way, we're doing.
welcome to Sydney. It's not quite as bad as LA. We have 3 lanes of slow traffic as opposed to 6 lanes of
That's
slow
exactly
traffic.
right. But we have been in first gear for the last 20 minutes.
And the police cars in LA look like the police cars in the movies.
They do.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it's
funny
almost
that.
like they use the same cars.
It's almost like the movies are made in the same place the cars are from. Now, in 2003 in Australia, they basically had a total ban on asbestos being imported into Australia. From what I understand, this is not just cars, this is anything, right?
Yeah.
Now, from what I understand, if you were bringing something in that had asbestos in, the Crown, that is, because Australia is part of England, I'm assuming the Crown kind of comes from the Queen or something, the Crown takes it, whatever it is.
Yep.
They take it from you and they destroy it. Now, you get fined $210,000, and if you're a company or a corporation, I think it's $1,050,000 is what you find. So it's huge. It's huge money. Now, since 2003, they've been saying you can't bring asbestos in, but as of about a few months ago, I don't actually know when exactly, but as of recently, they've actually started enforcing it. So what does that actually mean? Is this guy going to be kind? He's going to be kind.
What a legend.
I'm going to give him a wave, and I'm going to give him a little Japanese salute with my double hazards. Thank you very much.
Nice.
What a kind old fellow that lady is. Anyway, so basically from that point a few months ago they started saying no more, there's a rule in place, let's actually make it so that's the way it is.
Yep.
So what does that mean? It means people are bringing in classic cars, all kinds. They're bringing in Maseratis, they're bringing in Fords, they're bringing in Skylines, all sorts of different things, and they just went, you know what, no more. No more. If it's got asbestos in it, you can't bring it in. So what have people started doing? They go, okay, cool, well, let's try and remove that. Now, where is the asbestos? We're talking about in the clutch, we're talking about gaskets, head gaskets. We're talking about brakes.
brake
and
pads.
so in Japan, what you can do is you can get all of that stuff checked and tested.
Yeah.
So you can get an engineer over there to go through all of that stuff and see whether there's asbestos in it or not.
Yep.
Now, you had a good point, Marty, that where this car was, I doubt there's anyone who is
that's the
capable
thing.
of doing that
So Matsusaka
in
is
the country area of
it's
Japan.
quite a way out of a major city. It's a good train ride from Nagoya, which is the nearest major city. And yes, there may be someone there, but that's like trying to get someone to drive 3 hours to come and test your car. You've got to pull it apart, give them all the gaskets, or you've got to pull it apart, send it away, which is how it works in Australia as well. And then get it back, and then if they tell you it does have asbestos, well, guess what? You're pulling it all apart, and you can't take it to Australia anyway.
But here's the problem. As far as we know, there's no specific reciprocal agreement between overseas countries and Australia in terms of certifying asbestos. What that means is that if somebody writes you a certificate and says there's no asbestos in this, it might get to the ABF, which is the Australian Border Force, and they might go, I've never even heard of this country. We don't have any deal with their particular situation, so we can't bring that in. So let's assume that you do just send the car here and you bring it in and it gets tested for asbestos. So each instance of finding asbestos is a $3,000 fine.
For an individual?
And then for an individual,
Yeah.
yep. And then from what I understand, it's around $10,000
Wow.
to test for asbestos in each of those components as well. We've called around, we've spoken to some people who've imported some cars, we've read some stuff from journalists, we've contacted a bunch of different agencies to actually try and find some information. From what we've heard from people doing it, is that if we had brought it in as is, assuming that we could even get it here, we're looking at tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
We're not looking at $3,000 or $6,000 or $9,000, we're looking at tens of thousands of dollars. Now, why are people angry about it?
Here's the kicker, right? It may not have asbestos in it, but by looking at it, you don't know.
That's right,
and
but you've got to pay to test it.
Exactly right. So you can risk it and you can get to the thing, but yeah, exactly. Then you still got to pay the money anyway to go to test it. You just don't get fined.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if anyone's ever brought anything in, like a car from a port, a good example is the Cresta. When we brought the Cresta in, I got a phone call on like a public holiday Monday afternoon saying, "Your Cresta's here, come get it." It was in Brisbane.
Yeah,
we live in
right.
Sydney. That's 1,000 k's away. So I ring Turbo Yoda straight away. Chopped. I ring Turbo Yoda straight away and go, "Man, the car's there." And he's like, "It's a public holiday. What do you want me to do?" he didn't have a car trailer. He had a mate who was, we'd sort of planned he would go get it, but that would be a day or two's notice. It was like $400 a day port storage
Yeah,
fees.
man.
So when your car's stuck there, anyway, it's crazy.
It's a crazy situation that people are in, and this is not even going into the main issue in the first place, which is the kind of diseases and stuff that come from asbestos. Now, I think the problem that some enthusiasts are having is they're saying, well, it's a negligible amount, but that said, the law is there for a reason. It's a really tricky one because people are saying, what if there's nothing in there, or there's an amount that is not scientifically proven to actually cause diseases? Australia, from what I understand, per capita is like one of the highest uses of asbestos in the world. It's used in building sheds.
If
you know about this, right?
I'll rewind a little bit. So asbestos, if you don't know what it is, it's a material. Imagine like a glass fibre. It's a fibre that is implanted into materials, and it was a massive thing when it first came out because it's like
it's
this
fireproof,
is the best.
right?
It's fire resistant. It's lightweight. It's really, really durable. It protects against the sun. Like for a building material, when you're just thinking, well, if I put a sheet of wood up, it's going to rain and it's going to be all over. So a lot of the asbestos was impregnated into like a cement sheeting. And when they make gaskets, it's a similar theory. Like, they put the asbestos in there because it's so durable. Great as a gasket. It'll last forever.
Yep.
But then they discovered only later that there was problems with it. So Australia stopped using it as building materials. Like something like 70,000 homes were just built like that were completely asbestos. I've lived in houses that have asbestos walls. If you don't touch it, it's okay, but you're not allowed to install it. You have to, if you want to get rid of it, there's all sorts of crazy rules, like you've got to wear a space suit, you've got,
and if it's over a certain amount, you actually have to get a company to come and do it, and they've got to spray it all with water, and someone's got to stop the dust getting around.
It's bad.
Which is why a lot of people just bury it or just get rid of it illegally.
And there's enough studies to know that it is dangerous, and there's people who suffered from it, particularly people who worked with it. Now, in Japan, way back, I think it's in the 90s, they realised that there were a lot of Japanese people at the shipbuilding yards, and they were using a lot of asbestos in those areas, and they were getting sick.
Yeah,
and so they've gone, okay, this is a problem, and they banned it. The government started, making policy to ban it decades.
Look at this guy. I put my indicator on so he speeds up. Why do you do that? We're both driving Fords, man.
You're not going to go anywhere, and you're faster anyway. Anyway, they started making policy to ban it, as did Australia, decades ago. But it took a while for companies to catch up because they're making this stuff, they're selling it. Why should we? We don't believe that it's killing people. Well, they worked out soon enough that it is. Australia stopped making it in building materials in the 80s. Japan stopped using it maybe a decade later, and by 2003, total ban. You can't make it, you can't sell it, you can't import it.
Yeah. So that's what they're enforcing. So when we were having a chat with Import Monster, we didn't know this was going to be the situation when we bought the car, obviously.
It hadn't, when this wave of new policy came in,
it hadn't hit in full force yet. And so
the rule was there, but it hadn't been enforced.
It hadn't been enforced. So we're kind of in a situation that people were saying, well, if you couldn't bring it in, why'd you buy it? The answer to that is we didn't know we couldn't.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you just buy a shell and you bring it in and change it anyway.
And it would have been fun to bolt stuff onto that L series and try different carbies, and like, I'm not saying I wouldn't do that, but in this current situation, I'm not yet.
Totally. The idea was to actually kind of try and do both, was to try and kind of keep it as it is, do as much as we could, and then we had a backup plan for later on doing something to the car if we needed to, but it didn't really turn out exactly how it was intended. So that is the reason why there's been such an issue with asbestos. You can bring in cars that potentially have asbestos components in them. They need to be cleaned, checked, certified, removed first. And if you're doing that in the country where it's from, it may not actually be applicable for Australian rules.
But motard. I love motards, man. I think I need to get on that train.
I miss mine.
Yeah,
DRZ 400 SM. So good.
I've been looking at Hasselbergs. There's some weird Swedish one, but you put motard wheels, they're so good, man.
Really?
Like 390cc or 350.
That's a good size, isn't it? Because some people think 250s are small and 400s are too big.
And it had
That's
a 250,
good combo.
It was a good bike, but it just wasn't up to the task of dirt rides.
That dude has every single Mighty Car mod sticker under the sun on the back of his
and a
Audi.
plate. What a legend.
That's pretty good. That's like 6 stickers. Well done. I'd wave, but he's gone.
Chopped us.
See you, bro.
That would never happen in an Audi again. Why's your blinker on? Aren't we going straight?
No, we go left and then right.
The GPS is straight, and we're literally going up that road.
Yeah, I never go that way.
Why?
Have you noticed I never go that way?
I always notice you never go that way. I don't get it, because that's the most direct way.
Yeah, because there's where Parramatta Road crosses there, you'll have a look out the window, see how there's that little bump?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, front lip.
Yeah, I can't get over that. I can't get over that.
Seriously?
See, right there. Right there.
It's tiny.
Yeah, that's all it takes, man. That's all it takes.
Stance life. That's pretty cool, though.
Do you remember when we used to work in Piedmont and the woman cooking our chips would sweat on them?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Sweaty chips, but it went in the fryer. So
that's why we call them sweaty chips.
You know when you put
but
water
she
in
would
hot oil?
like pick the chips out, and she's just dribbling it. They were so delicious, weren't
were
they?
so good, those
They
chips.
were so good. But I don't think we should be eating human sweat. Just like down in Melbourne, they made those baby pops, the ice blocks made out of breast milk, and it's like they're like maybe we shouldn't sell that. Because dudes were like chowing down on, they loved it.
If you're in Canada and you go to get poutine, and the lady's really like nasty, you still have to tip them, don't you? Because I had a bit of a conundrum.
Do they tip in Canada?
I think so.
Really?
I don't know.
In Australia, we don't tip people.
No tips.
People are trying to do it. I remember we were in America once. They added a tip onto our bill.
Yeah,
They didn't even ask us.
No, they didn't ask.
Do you have to tip in Canada? I've never been. I'd
think
love
you
to
do.
go.
Oh, it's so good, man. Canada's amazing. Shout out to Canadians.
Someone was telling me that Canada is a different country to America.
Oh, don't even. Why would you? You know that's gonna. Don't say that, man. People hate it. It's like saying New Zealand and Australia are the same.
What?
I know exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, awesome. This is cool, as.
Dude, this is great. Look at that.
Bring it on. I see a CNC machine.
Hello. Yes. This is awesome. This is great. This is where all of our action's happening. So good, man. Good to see you.
What's happening?
Not much, a couple of drinks because I'm sweating.
So you got some measurements for us?
Yeah.
You got some bits and pieces? Where do we work all this stuff out?
We can go to site because it's only around the corner,
Yeah, okay.
and we can check it out there.
Okay,
Get
cool.
all the measurements and
Awesome.
sort it out. So we've got everything dressed. We've machined everything, glued it all up. We just have to do sanding, finishing on it. But yeah, we've got our walnut detail on there.
They're looking really good, man. They're
Gonna
looking
add
great.
some more walnut as well.
Yeah,
It's all just bits and pieces, materials, all the stuff ready to join up.
yeah.
And then we've got a lot of our steel cut and we're starting to weld it up.
I was starting to weld up some frames.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's looking
we're
really
TIG
good.
welding everything.
That's so good.
Grind it back, goes off to the powder coaters.
And just doing flat black, is that right?
Yep, satin black.
That's great.
That's
Cool workshop.
Here
Hey,
it
this
is
looks
down
familiar.
Here it is down here.
This looks very familiar. Recognise your toolbox?
Yes.
They're the best.
We have the same ones.
Yeah.
Bunnings Life.
Bench ones. That's awesome, man.
So we need to get these measurements and this jig from you. Why don't
Yeah.
we go up to site?
Easy.
And then we'll tell these people what's going on. Because there's a lot of
Brilliant.
people that are probably like wondering
Bit confused.
why we're here and what we're doing.
Yeah.
Something fun.
It's something a bit crazy, a bit different.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
do you want to come with us or have you got wheels?
Nah, I'll jump in the car
In
with
the
you.
Focus.
I'm dying to get into the Focus.
Nice.
Let's do it.
Backseat is spacious enough.
Seatbelts on, please, kids.
What car do you drive, Fabian?
Tennille's car, Jeep.
A Jeep.
Oh man, it's horrible.
He used to drive a Jeep.
Oh, I told her, I was like, oh, really? You want to get a Jeep? Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Hanging left at the lights and then just going straight up.
That's it.
Perfect.
I just started gathering my money together and buying the stuff, and you know, I was employed full-time welding and fabricating, but I went, I could use some of this gear at home. I'll just save up and buy the gear and have it at home, even though I didn't have any jobs to do with it.
Yeah.
I just went like, that's my dream, is to have the workshop at home, to have every tool I could possibly want. I can look at your show and be just as enthusiastic about it and see the same kind of things happening in the background of, yeah, let's make that and let's not shy away from it, let's get into it, and you know, let's get that extra tool to do that thing. And I love it. It's great.
thanks,
you know,
man.
it's awesome. So totally feel the same way about that.
This is going to be fun.
So we are on Enmore Road in Enmore. This is kind of like the, I don't know, kind of like a version of like Haight Street in San
Yeah,
Francisco.
it's really close to the city. We're like 1 or 2 k's from the city that way, but it's very cool. good spot.
You got lots of like music here, you got lots of restaurants,
Theatres.
lots of street art, lots of really cool stuff going on. And down here is the Enmore Theatre, which famously had its floor broken during a Linkin Park concert, rest in peace Chester, because everybody was like moshing so hard they literally smashed the floor. And we are heading about one more block further down this way, and then we can show you guys what has been going on. Something
fun.
cool. We've arrived, everybody.
Are you hungry? I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
We're gonna eat these or what?
Hey!
Hey!
Hey, man. How's things? Good to see you, man. It's looking crazy. Whoa. Wow. Okay, come this way. It's time to blow the whale hole.
What?
Is that what you call it? Blow the sperm hole?
I don't know.
Like, it's time to reveal what's going on. Gregory!
Well,
How are you, man?
Hey.
How are you, man?
How are you, boys? Marty?
Gregory, meet the internet. Internet, meet Gregory.
He's met him before.
And now, Martin, it's time for our very exciting news.
What is the news?
What's the news? We're opening a restaurant.
Yep.
We have teamed up with Chef Extraordinaire, and we're bringing the tastes of Deep South mixed with an automotive twist of Cheryl's goodness.
Cheryl.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How is the Cheryl coming along, by the way?
It is.
That is a menu item, everybody. That's happening. Can you explain what the Cheryl is for
It's
us?
white.
Okay, but what is it? What Cheryl
It's a sauce. White.
gets roasted,
Roasted and covered.
roasted, and then just covered in white
Covered.
sauce.
Smothered and covered.
That's awesome.
Smothered and
So that's one of the special sauces we got.
Correct, sir.
We just morphed into this sort of like fried chicken thing, and we never really expected it to be that way. And then the public just said we just want it, and so now we're giving it to them again. We're giving it to them again.
Marty and I there all the time.
Yeah.
just chowing down.
Poutine sneakers too.
Yeah.
Poutine sneakers.
And so part of the point of this, right, is bringing that particular food, which is next level, to the people, and you can get it. You don't have to wait for ages. You can just come and smash it.
We're gonna have like a sort of takeaway option. We'll have a sit-in option, and it's sort of like quick, easy. You can be here as long as you want. You can come and have a drink. You don't have to eat. You can eat, not drink. And it's just gonna be sort of really easy. And basically, the service is gonna be next level, just like the food.
Yeah.
So and quick, no f***ing waiting. You want a beer? It's right there. You want chicken? 2 minutes, 3 minutes, done.
right.
There's lots of work that goes behind it, and but I think within simplicity is really complex stuff. But just like cars and what you guys do, it's sort of
Cars. What do you have? You got a Subaru, don't you?
Subaru.
Favorite Marty Mods episode?
Supergrams, for sure.
Bourbon slushies here,
Bourbon slushies.
which is like frozen Coke with bourbon in it. And we're going to be open in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I know it's weird. I know it's crazy.
It's pretty out there.
It's pretty.
It's gonna be good though.
And there's going to be some kind of Mighty Mods inspired shenanigans over here. Let's go and see what we can find, man. We're manga bombing, so this is kind of inspired by the Volkswagen Mark III.
If you're in Sydney, you can come and you can eat some food here.
Yes.
Good.
And we might be down here. We might be serving you. We might be doing guest serving down here.
We might actually
which is pretty amazing.
We might even have bourbon slushies.
This is Benny, everybody. He's one of our designers. And he's what's going on in here?
Just hanging out in the bathroom. It's the best way to do business in Enmore. But also measuring up for a manga
This is our manga bomb.
bomb paste up
Yeah.
wall.
So good. The front door on the left, there's going to be chopped fingers. Basically, if people walk in the door, chopped fingers, which is neon.
Yeah.
But then I think opposite the chopped fingers on that wall is going to be like black and white painted wishbone.
Yeah.
And you're painting that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And that's going to be big.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the bricks. Yeah. Martin, we haven't even told everybody yet.
What?
The restaurant's called Wishbone. It's madness, isn't it? Absolute madness.
It looks like shit, but it's actually gonna go.
We have to make some tables. So that's why we're here today. Not just today, we're doing these structures of the table, and we're going to be building them using wishbone suspension because we got fried chicken, and fried chicken has a wishbone, and cars.
I think they made the connection.
You got it.
It's gonna be good. It's our job though.
Can we do a quick little measure up and talk about what we've got to do so that we can go to the wreckers and buy some old car bits that are probably from a car that we've crashed in the past?
So please tell us what we need to
Yeah,
do.
please
for you.
tell us everything that we need to know.
We want to have a bracket that attaches to the wall up the top,
Yep.
at the bottom,
Yep.
and then comes up,
Yep.
and we want to give ourselves a little bit more room on the end here. So we're going to put another bracket here.
Yeah, nice. I guess we're going to the wreckers.
And the cool thing is we're going to try and have different suspension parts from different brands as we go along the table, so that you can sit at the Toyota table or the Nissan table or whatever it is that you're into when you come down here.
It's gonna be awesome.
See you, man.
Peace.
Thanks, Gregory.
See you, Marty.
See you later. See you later, man. Thank you.
Nice to see ya.
See you, bro. See you, man.
Nice to meet you, mate.
See you later. Nice to meet you too, sir. We'll be back to help you stick that up. Awesome. So we are leaving the Inner West and we're on our way to the wreckers, Martin.
That's right. So there's a couple of wreckers that I have in mind. There's a particular wreckers that all their parts are off the cars. Like, you know, some wreckers just have yards full of stuff, and when you ask for something, they pull it off.
Yeah.
This is the most organised wreckers I've seen in my entire life. It's just
Okay.
all hanging from the ceiling, and it's all labelled. But I'm hoping that they've got a bit of stuff that maybe there's not much demand for, or the parts are, because I don't want to pay like $500 for a suspension arm.
I mean, we have to get wishbones because the place is called Wishbone, so we have to get that. But then, considering that there's that many tables along that wall, we can also get other bits.
Yep.
Panhard rods,
Yep.
not like springs and things like that.
I think
though.
springs are a bit hard to work with, but there'll be all sorts of stuff. It'll work.
And then we just kind of pull it all apart,
Yep.
try and line it up with the measurements that
Yeah.
we need, and then angle grind it into shape,
Pretty much.
then weld it, then paint it or powder coat it,
Yeah, either.
and then go and install it.
Install it.
Thanks for the snake.
How good are snakes?
Amazing.
You like the pink ones or the red ones? But see how there's actually two different colours, like they're not the same.
Are they different?
Yeah, see?
No.
I mean, it'll tell us what flavour. It doesn't say, man.
And there's some in the back corner.
Why is it that all the best looking stuff is all off Commodores?
Is it because the Commodores have all crashed?
All Falcon gear.
Falcon stuff holding up tables.
Yeah.
We'll get some Nissan stuff too. We'll get some Toyota stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe some Euro of some kind. It's a very strange thing we're doing today.
Yeah,
But actually really cool. Let's do something different.
That's cool. Well, should we use 6 and put one on each? What do you reckon?
Yeah.
There is enough of them. There's some without the junk. I don't think we need the big junk on them, do
No,
we?
we
There's
don't.
another one there. Without junk. 2 without junk.
There we go. Amazing.
Pretty good. There's some more cool wishbone looking stuff over here. I think we need to start getting brand specific, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, for sure. Because we got some good basics.
Where's the Supra stuff, Martin? Where's the 2J action?
In here, I don't know. It's panhard rods. That'll be a good thing. It's like a really, really fun version of doing the groceries, isn't it?
It is.
I'm not gonna make it, man. No,
Yeah, you are.
I gotta know.
No, you're going to make it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just very stressful.
You're not going to make it, mate. What do you got there, man?
Ford Festiva.
Ford. And I know we already got a Mazda thing, but I've got to get the bubble, man.
Yeah, do it.
The 121 bubble.
Trying to do my trolley.
A circular nugget. Drive shafts. Might be able to get something for super grants from here. That's cool. Yep. Sorry to whoever really needed this part. And now it's holding up a table. But that table will be holding some delicious chicken. And vegetarian options also. With Cheryl's special creamy sauce. Roasted and sprayed. Yeah, look at them go. That from a Falcon as well?
I think so. It's alright. How's that going for you? Is that really hard? Well, you're doing that on purpose. Some serious OH&S going on here. You're purposely trying to throw me out. Is it really hard?
Yeah, it's really hard.
Doesn't sound hard. Thanks, man.
That was really difficult.
That's fun.
So it's time to talk paint, and you might be wondering, what colour are we going to paint this restaurant? Well, there's only one choice, and that is, of course, Nissan White. So this is a panel off our 240Z. We're going to get this colour matched in there, and then that is how we're going to paint the restaurant. So these here are like all off-the-shelf colours, but instead we are scanning this piece of the car, getting an exact formula, and that is what colour the walls of Wishbone are going to be. There it is. Nailed it. Look at that match. That is freaking awesome.